What makes a good producer? The characteristics of a good producer. Along with the director, right? The producer is the one who sets the tone for the production. So if you have a person like I was early on, that's frenetic and frantic, okay, because there's so many details that you can't handle them, that's going to create some anxiety on set, all right? As you get more experience, you trust people more, then you're able to step back and oversee things, because that's what the producer is supposed to do, be able to oversee, right? So first thing is that this person knows how to handle people. And often a large group of people, all right? And an excellent communicator, both verbal communication skills and written communication skills. And again, this is one of those lists that you can use for just about any managerial, any executive position. Okay, a good producer knows how to handle confrontation. And personalities, or personality conflicts. The more people that you have that are working together, the greater the odds of you having people at odds with each other and having conflict. And the greater amount of people that you have and the greater amount of time that those people are spending together over a long period of time, again, these conflicts rise. We saw that in the last behind the scenes of The Incredibles, where the producer and the director were at it a little bit. And that was probably a toned down version because the camera was in there, somewhat toned down. I'm sure they went at it with a few other words at times. But they're still professionals. Doesn't mean that they're not professionals. Now, the producer is concerned about getting the thing done on time and within budget, and the director is concerned with the highest quality possible for the most part, all right? Sometimes those things are at odds, and they were at odds in that particular meeting. But the producer has to know when to hold the line and say, you know what, we have to move on, or you know, we can't do this, we can't do that, and so on. And how do you do that? That's critical. Being able to handle that situation. Now, along with that, the producer has to be able to deal with a lot of detail. And people. If you are not a detail-oriented person, it's not necessarily the case, but a lot of producers are A-type personalities, okay? They have to have their hands in everything, have to know everything that's going on. Producer has to, right? And at the same time, even while they're doing that, is one of the next characteristics is being able to handle stress, because you have so much going on all at once. You have to be able to know how to let out the steam without being offensive and without, you know, ruining the production, all right? Exercise, eating, sleeping well, and so on, okay? More so than in any industry that I've worked in quite a few of them, the amount of detail that is involved in production is incredible. Now, not all of it is as stressful as, say, if you are, you know, the chief of a fire engine company, all right? Because that's life and death. But the stress in terms of getting things done on time is comparable, all right? Because the clock is constantly ticking. clock is ticking and dollars or whatever other currency are going out. So you have to be concerned with that, and you have to handle that. And one of the best ways to handle that is by knowing that when you retire every day that you've done the absolute best that you could that day, right? The good producer is good at motivating people. And this is the quality of a good teacher, coach, manager, executive. If you're in a position where you have people that work for you, there are going to be many times when people are not going to want to do what they need to do in order to get the job done. So the job of a producer is to get people to do what they don't want to do in order to get what they want to get. All right? Everybody got that? Everybody want to repeat that back to me? This is critical, all right? This is really critical because this is one of the keys. It's easy to get people to do something that they want to do in order to get what they want to get. That's simple, all right? But the best executives, the best managers, the best producers get people to do what they don't want to do in order to accomplish and get what they want to get, right? This is true not exclusively in sports. Athletes don't necessarily want to do strength and conditioning and agility stuff because it hurts, okay? And it's hard work. But in order to be successful in games, the good coach motivates them to do that, all right? There are times, and you'll see behind the scenes of Lord of the Rings, where people are stretched to the maximum. They're tired. They don't want to do this anymore. But what is the goal? And they accomplish their goal. Their goal is to produce the absolute best film that you can so that it'll compete in the Academy Awards and win the Academy Awards, which they did for the third film, all right? But these people were stretched, and the producer motivates them. And in that case, and we'll see that later on, Peter Jackson was both producer and director, so he was serving with in both capacities, right? The producer knows what makes a good script. A good script and hence a good movie. So if there's a producer that does not have the talent or has developed the gift or the talent of being able to read words and see pictures in their mind, that person is not gonna do well. You can't just be a manager when you're talking about film production or video production. You have to be able to visualize as well and determine, okay, this script is going to work. Visually, it's going to work. Emotionally, it's going to work. Technically, it's going to work, all right? As opposed to somebody that just knows how to motivate people. You know, that person may be great for another position, but as far as a producer for television and film, that's not going to work. They have to know how to read a script and say, okay, this is something that's going to be of value, that people are going to want to watch. It's a good story. They have to know the characteristics and the qualities of a good story. And along those lines, all right, that person has to know how to rewrite well. Because every quality film gets rewritten through the entire process, almost up to the last moment. They rewrite. Not just lines of dialogue, but some action and stuff. So the producer has to be able to do that as well. The good producer, and this is one of the qualities that people don't quite understand. You know, why would they have to do this? But a good producer has to be able to read a script and then match that with the appropriate director. So a good producer would not have matched Sleepy Hollow with, and I'm thinking of his stage name now, Richie Cunningham. Who's that? Ron Howard. Sleepy Hollow and Ron Howard not a good match, okay? Or you have The Notebook and Tarantino, all right? Not going to make it, right? All right? So a good producer knows how to match good script with a good director, all right? With the appropriate director. Match script with director. The good producer has to know, this goes along with how to handle people, how to deal with prima donnas. And you'll have them at all levels. It's not just, you know, those people that are making